JC here again for retirecheap.asia. Remember this guy? Bruce. Hey, I did an interview with him a while back. How long has it been now? How long have you been here?
6 weeks.
6 weeks. Okay, so 6 weeks. What we want to do is we want to get an update. First we want to go back for people who haven't seen the original video and what your outcome was of coming over this time. Then we'll talk about which of those outcomes you've met so far and what distinctions you've made since you've been here. So for people who didn't see the first interview, you came over here really to sort of like, in my membership site that's coming up, we're going to have a deciding section category, a planning section, then preparing, and then actually when they get over here what to do to settle in. Well, you already sort of made that decision, okay? So Bruce already came up with the deciding. He had some background of being over here, what, 11 times or something, over quite a few years, and having a Thai wife, and so he already knew that this was one of the places that he considered to retire, and so he was basically in the planning stage, and that's coming over to check out really at what lifestyle or what level you'd like to live over here and what it's going to cost, so then you can go back and prepare to make that a reality. So what exactly, I know you also came over to address some medical needs, which by the way is a great strategy if you want to come over and actually figure this stuff out. How much it's going to cost, where you feel comfortable living, all that stuff. If you have any kind of medical needs, save the money by coming over here, and you get the trip, you can figure all this stuff out and get the medical needs taken care of, which is sort of like what you did, right?
Exactly. In my mind, the amount of money that I was told by my dentist at home that it would take to fix my teeth to the level they're going to be fixed, I get my dentures tomorrow, I would have to spend the amount of money that I'm going to have after having stayed here for 4 months.
For 4 months?
And not 2 months,
yeah.
Which I thought, well, it'll probably cost me, 2 months worth of
so before you came over, you figured it would cost the equivalent of 2 months of living here,
yeah,
and so you'd break even. But now you're looking at saying, hey, I've saved so much, I can actually stay here for 4 months on the money I've saved from getting the dental work done here.
On about $6 grand, maybe a little less than that, but you can easily stay for 4 months on $6 grand and have your dental work done.
And your dental work was considerable.
And pay
How much
for the
was
airline
it?
ticket.
Now, not to say what it's going to cost here and everything like that, but what would it have cost you to get the same dental work done back home?
Well, I had a couple of dentists give me estimates, $4,000 to $7,000.
Okay, 4 to 7, and you came over here, and the dental work, once it's finished, which it almost is now, is going to
$833.
$833, and the rest is play money.
Yeah, and for
your trip,
for my dental work and the airline ticket, and I figured 2 months of living expenses, that'd be $4,000 or $5,000. Well, I'm going to be able to stay for 4 months on that budget.
Wow, amazing. Yeah, I want to actually talk about that because I know when you first came over, you were paying for your room by the week, right? And same with a motorbike rental. He was paying by the week as well. And then you were into it only a couple of weeks when you realized, hey, I can save 30% of this money by just switching over to a monthly rate. And so
when my rental fee came due after the second week, I asked each of them, well, if I rent for a month, what will it be? Well, it turns out it was what 2 weeks worth of rental would be for each one of them.
Wow.
So actually I saved even a
50%.
little bit, yeah, at least a little bit more on the motorbike. And it still had full insurance coverage, and so for transportation, a place to live, cable TV, an internet connection, hot and cold running water, and my room cleaned, and all of that, $300 a month for room and board, entertainment, and transportation.
Yeah,
so
we'll break that
on
down.
top of that.
Let's break that down just a little bit more because I want them to really get what you just said, because this is like really important now. Okay, so your room Now, you know, it's like you think about renting someplace back home, you're going to be paying electricity, there's going to be water, there's going to be garbage, and then, of course, if you want an internet connection, you know, then you're cleaning your
Cable
room yourself.
TV.
Yeah, and cable TV, all that stuff is added on. But now you're paying how much? Now, this is a, a one room, okay, one room with the bathroom with hot water. It's got cable TV, Wi-Fi, and they come in and clean the room. And how much is it costing you per month?
6,000 baht,
Which is
$200.
the equivalent of $200 a month. And now he's got everything included in that. I mean,
TV, they brought me a little table and chair, so I have my little desk to work on my notebook with, on internet, and keep up with my email and all that.
and how about that electric bill coming, running that air conditioning?
no deposits for electric or trash, and the lady's
No
quite
bill
nice
for electric.
downstairs,
Yeah.
and laundry is real cheap to do.
Yeah, 30 baht a kilo.
And very convenient, and nice folks. The crew there is nice and polite, and you can go downstairs and get something to eat, or a secure place to park your motorbike. And I don't feel that anybody's going to break into my room because there's always somebody around. So you have sort of security.
Yeah, they actually have video cameras in the gate locks at night as
right
well
by
after
my
a certain
door,
time.
there's a video camera.
Okay, so okay, that's you being here now and sort of like, you know, being able to come over here and hang out and plan what you want to do. And so now knowing all that, okay, the strategy of going back into the preparation stage, and I'm going to do another interview with Bruce before he leaves because he's going to have a few more medical things done, and he probably will make some more distinctions over here, you know, in the next I don't know if he's even going back actually, but if he does go back before he goes, we'll do another interview, and
I can
see
find a way to stay.
See, now this is the thing.
Maybe.
It's like, now this is something other people need to keep in mind too, and you've brought this up a couple times. It's like, you know, some people have been displaced from their jobs or whatever, you know, and they were 2 years out of retirement or something, and they're thinking, well, you know, what am I going to do for 2 years? Well, if you have a certain amount of money saved up, and you got 2 years before your check's coming, there's strategies that people can employ, whether it's renting out property or something like that, and be able to live off that for the 2 years until the check starts to come. So people, you know, we're going to talk about a lot of that in the membership site under that planning stage, because that's the planning part. Now, what I want to ask you is, now that you've got this information, I think you're probably going to visit a few more places maybe while you're here, but you feel comfortable. One of the places you know you could hang out and feel comfortable is up here in Chiang Mai in the north. So knowing that, and now knowing, you said, I think we talked one evening and you said that you figured that you could live comfortably off $600 US a month. Okay? Now that's not extravagant lifestyle.
No, and
but
it's
it's comfortable.
controlling your urges and you know, keeping
we want
yourself out of the holiday
How
mode.
many of those urges fall into that $600 did you plan into this?
None.
Okay, okay. Well, there you go.
Eating and
Okay, so
surviving,
600 is not with any of the accoutrements
that one might come up with.
Yeah, the two-legged accoutrements that go along with the lifestyle. But okay, so those are extras, and you know that's the membership section goes into some of that stuff. But anyway,
large purchases.
That is the same thing. Large purchases.
Yes, but you know, like if you buy video cameras, my big purchase so far was a new cell phone.
Yeah, you got a new cell phone, which has GPS, which is really cool. This is something I learned from Bruce.
Found my way home several times.
Yeah, this is really cool. We got 3G and we got cell phones with GPS and stuff now, so it's really cool because this got like a square city and it all looks sort of the same, especially at night. And it's really cool to have a GPS in your phone because really all you need is to find out where you are, because you can always find your way back once you know, because you head north, south, east, or west, you can hit back into the central part of the city, and from there you know where you're at, which gate, and get back into the city. So, just being able to turn on the phone and say, oh, here I am. Ah, okay, I know where I'm at. I know where to go. And so that's a really cool thing. But anyway, back to what we were talking about is, now that you know what you know, okay, what are some strategies that you might use when you go back to, now you're only 2 years out from, actually a little less than 2 years, right, from collecting. What's your sort of plan at this point? Now I know this might change in the next couple of weeks or months, but at this point.
Well, I think it has helped me ease in my mind that I know that now I can get rid of a lot of stuff that I was planning on keeping at home because I'm not going to need it at home.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think I feel more comfortable with the commitment of leaving there to come
Interesting.
here.
Mm-hmm. That's
So now I can go back and shed a bunch of stuff with abandon.
yeah. So it doesn't have to be sitting there just in case I don't like it. Now you
Right.
already know that
And
you
if
feel
it
more
don't
comfortable.
apply to what I need here, then it can go.
And back to what you just said about applying to what you need here. For somebody that was going to come over here, what do you really need? What have you found that you really need? Because I know the first time I came, and I told you this before, I had a rolling bag. You know, the first time I came over here, and it was a long time ago, but I was rolling this thing around, hauling it around, and I realized after a week or so, I could have got rid of 80% of the stuff because I really didn't need it. So what do you really need to come over? You know,
As much money as you can lay your hands on. That is the key element, and the rest is available here. There's not a lot. I can't hardly think of anything unless you're, a jumbo size or have special shoes or
yeah, right.
or something.
That's custom.
Yeah, that's custom to you. That's all you need to bring, because everything that's home is here, and a lot of things that you have at home you're not going to need here.
That's right.
You'll shed them, you'll change your habits, you'll change your things around to where something that you think you can't live with at home is just in your way over here. So
And if you
have
do
as
need
much
something,
money as
it's
you
like a
can.
certain salad dressing. I mean, they got Paul Newman salad dressings and stuff here, but if you wanted that kind of stuff, you can actually find it.
Oh,
You'll have to pay a little more,
easily.
but it's here.
Rimping Market and the Big C and Tesco Lotus. It's like going to Walmart. If you want it, you can find it. All you got to do is pay for it.
Yeah.
And find that your habits change, and your new favorite snack food is now something else than what it used to
Oh,
be.
that's interesting.
And it's it's nice to have something that from back home, but you'll find that you get over it pretty quickly. It's
So tell me about your overall experience. I know you had talked about going in, into Asian restaurants or Asian markets to get that little taste of what you remembered to be over here, and now you're here. And so, how much did that memory reflect the reality of now being here? And are you happy about it, or are you disappointed, or is it better, or what is it in comparison to what you came
well,
over expecting?
what you can find back home, no matter how good it is, don't hold a candle to being here. Yeah, there's just nothing like being here.
Why? In what
Well,
respect?
because of the totality of the whole experience. I mean, you may find a really nice Thai restaurant in Atlanta, but if it's January, you go outside, it's colder than it is here in January.
That's for sure.
And just the sights and the sounds and the smells, and you're not a Falong there. Here,
Is that a good thing?
you're
Because a lot of
Falong.
people think that's a negative thing.
Yeah, if you're not comfortable with being a Falong, and I know that I'm always going to be a Falong if I live here, I'm 100, but I have no problem with that. Myself, I know I'm this Falong. But the
And
Thai
some
people
actually,
that-
some foreigners actually take offense to that word, which I don't quite understand. I think they need to get over that. I mean, it actually is derived from a problem with pronouncing certain tones in their language, and so instead of foreigner, it became a Falong, and it would be like us saying Asian people. They just don't. They're lumping us all because we have white skin into a certain group. Instead of saying European or American, they created one group, and because we got white skin, and became the Falong. And so I wouldn't take offense to that or worry about that, but some people do. So yeah, and do you think that's a negative thing or a positive thing to be a Falong?
I'm proud to be a Falong
Wow, very good.
over here because I'm here.
Yeah.
And that's my whole goal is to be here in a place that I've been infatuated with for a very long time, and I would like to think that I'm more knowledgeable than the average person about the place, and you know, I could have informed myself about other places, but this is the place that just
Okay,
moves
well,
me.
let's
I
do
feel
it.
at home
Yeah,
here.
let's do just a quick rundown here of, and you can just rate these really simply. Okay, the people.
Oh, I don't have a problem with any of them. Some are more friendly than others. The longer you're here, you find out that the people aren't just like you're going to read in the tour books, that they're all friendly and the land of smiles. Well, there's some grumpy ones and out of sort ones and stuff, but
But as a
you,
whole,
oh, as a whole, they're very friendly.
compared to the attitude of people back home,
I
more
got
friendly
them
or
beat
less friendly?
more
Okay, more
friendly
friendly.
and forgiving and tolerant
And tolerant, yeah, very
and
tolerant. And how about the care when you were having your medical procedures done? Just the care itself. I mean, not we won't talk about the cost, but we'll go into that at the end of before you leave of all the costs and what they ended up
yeah.
being. But just the care that you got.
Well, that just took some getting used to. It was so good. You just don't expect to have that much
Attention
attention.
and
Exactly.
compassion.
Yeah, and yeah, sympathy for, you know, this guy's going through something that you know, he wouldn't have
He's probably not going to
stalled
tell
it
you
off
this,
for so long.
but the nurse in the dentist's office when he was going through some of these procedures are tapping him like, "Oh, it's okay, it's okay." And his dentist, you know, we'll put this on Maps some more. He's going to throw his dentist up there on that. But the dentist actually had a set upper denture made, and the dentist actually looked at it and said he wasn't happy with it and said, "Let's redo this again." And so he
Now,
went beyond what was expected of him.
I was impressed with him before then, but when I saw the man looking at them and checking and putting some real thought into this, and he says, "No, we need to do this again," and he was very patient with me, and you know, told me not to worry because I have with gagging when I have like 4 or 5 fingers and a couple of instruments and things stuck down my throat, and he said he had other patients that way and not to worry about it, and they'd get around it somehow,
Okay.
and that's just what it took to get him happy. So I would have had my dentures last week if the first ones would have
Well, I got to
come out
cut
right
this
then.
short because I'm going to run out of tape here. But I wanted to, and so overall at this point, and you're into this about halfway or so, are you happy with your decision that, you know, this might be a place that you can retire and do it comfortably on a limited budget?
100%.
100%. Good.
It's cleared up a lot of stuff to where now I can go back and run some numbers and pick a date.
Yeah, and
You
that's
know,
the
when I'm going
preparing.
to be
That's the
able
actual
to come.
and it's the end of the planning stage, and then once you've crunched those numbers and you've got them figured out, then it's actually preparing to come do it. So I'm going to check in with you again before you leave, but I just wanted to give you all an update because he's been hanging out, and actually in the next couple of weeks we got all sorts of people that have been in contact with me. Some people we were eating, and somebody
Yeah.
came in and they kept staring at me, and I thought, oh no, you know, these people are mad because I'm looking at the guy's girlfriend or whatever. I don't know, but anyway, it turns out they recognized me from the videos as well, and we got a couple more people coming into town in the next couple of weeks, so maybe I'll do some interviews with them as well. But I hope this has been helpful, and remember, hey, there's always an option, right, Bruce?
Sure.
All right.
Lots of them.
Lots of them.